Oh, are we live? I think we're live. Let me check. Let me check the infinite. Yes, we are live. Perfect.
Check the infinite.
The infinite screen of madness.
Somebody's drawing before they're supposed to.
Okay, so welcome everybody to the live stream. Because I'm technologically challenged, I cannot look at the chat, but Gas today will be my second in command, and he'll be reading all your comments and letting me know what's going on.
I should have sat down like this.
Yes. And well, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be drawing together, and I'm not going to be able to see anything because I'm sharing this screen. So everyone tell me what's going on, all right? You'll be my eyes today.
Infinite roleplay says someone's checking me. I don't know what that means.
Checking the infinite.
Oh, well done. Russ, you're third in command. I'll read it. You can understand it.
I
like that.
Yeah. Russ was quick there. I think he's in from a promotion in any minute now.
No.
All right. So this is all perfect. And what we're going to do is we're going to have prompts and we're going to have a question. We're going to draw this prompt for like 15 minutes, more or less. No one's looking at the time really, but we are going to do that. And then we're going to answer a question while we draw the prompts. Okay?
Okay.
Yes.
So, let's start with Gas because he's the second in command. Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know if you saw his prompt, but he wants us to draw plastic, rubber, or eraser crappy figures from your childhood, like army men, robots, monsters, cowboys, muscle men, etc. And then he sent some examples. Okay, so this is your first challenge for the night. You're gonna have to draw little army men and little crappy toys. Could you please expand on this concept, or maybe paste a little image of what we're supposed to be drawing?
I mean, I did it in the Google Doc. Where can I paste it now?
On
your layer
thingy.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I could copy from. No, I can't. Maybe I can just do like a print screen kind of situation.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if that works.
And basically, we're all gonna be drawing those little things.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
Well, that's weird.
That is weird.
It's showing up on my.
I took a print screen, but something's covering up the top, so it didn't work out. All right, that was terrible. Off to a good start. Here we are. I didn't know I was going to need to share it, and I don't have a picture handy, so I tried to screenshot it. Let me see if I can save one of these.
Does it have to be one of those?
Okay, wait. I have an idea. While you do that, instead of going straight to the prompt, why don't we introduce us? And while we're introducing ourselves, everyone is going to draw the person that is introducing themselves. You know, did I explain that correctly?
No.
So like basically, Russ, you're gonna start. Tell us who you are, what you do, and where to find you, and we're all gonna create a little caricature of you while you do that.
No.
Okay.
Well, no.
This is super tiny.
It's happening. I guess it's up left.
Also, I can't really search for a picture. Okay.
My name's
Russ.
No.
Well, what's happening?
I don't know. Sorry. Oh no.
Toggy's here. Toggy. Oh, let's draw together. Right. Okay.
Okay, not there. I'm gonna go over here. Two places.
Have I got to start? Have I got to start? Is this?
Yeah. You can start now.
Just hit the eyeball, and then nobody can see your layer.
Yeah. Like Photoshop.
It's like Photoshop. Yeah.
You see, I am a Clip Studio person.
Yeah. So. I'm Russ Leach. I am the Comic Book Black Belt. You can get me on YouTube as Comic Book Black Belt. You can find me online as at russleach.com or at comicbookblackbelt.com. You can also find me at onlydeathcansavers.com. That's my new book. There's a link there to the current Indiegogo campaign. You can find me on the Twitter, on the Fleecebook. You can find me on the Instagram and on the Parlay, even though it doesn't work very well. I spread myself out across the internet. Come find me. Talk to me about comic book art.
The picture I'm looking at of Russ for reference, I don't know about you guys, but it's about 1 centimeter tall. Like, I'm not even sure if you're bald. I think maybe you are, but you could have short hair. Okay, I don't even.
Just giving a good chunk of hair, like curly.
Look at that.
Okay. Oh, okay, gotcha. So she like
I'm Marsh, but you don't see me.
Why is Marsh? Oh, I didn't click him in. Where is he? Oh, he's here. Sorry, Marsh.
So who's next? So I can get a head start here.
Huh?
I'm terrible.
Who's next? So I can get a head
This is
start.
what you get.
Little drawing.
Okay. Who's next?
Look at
Let's
that
say-
hair! Oh my god, I haven't seen hair like that in ages.
All right, so that's
There
Russ.
you go. There's Russ.
You can also select all and delete, like Marsh. You don't have to like you guys. The way you're racing is insane. Just select the whole screen and hit delete. Control A, for God's
The
sake.
laugh out dueling.
I'm
is
new
like
to
stuff
internet.
just delete to-
God.
It's clear who's been trying this program before we jumped in and who
I've
hasn't.
never tried this program before. I just know how Photoshop works.
No, he knows how Photoshop works.
Embryon Vol offers congratulations and is laughing at all of our stupidity. And
Control A.
then wants error 1 to smash that like button.
Smash it.
That might have been a typo, but it's error 1. Which I love. Error 1.
Perfect. Sounds perfect. Okay, who's next? Marsh, since you were late, just stand up in front of the class and introduce yourself while we all draw caricatures of you, will you?
Well, first, Gaz, what did you say? Control A? How do I do that?
Control A. It selects the entire screen, I believe. Is it? It's not Control A. Is it Alt A?
Oh, okay. How do I deselect?
Control. You hold Control, press A, and then you'll see the dotted line of like ants around the entire screen, and then hit Delete, and it deletes everything you've drawn.
But how do I deselect?
Oh, Control D, I believe.
Mine isn't
That
working.
works. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Sorry,
Alright,
a lot of it's intuitive at this point for me.
Wow.
Retro
it's
Marsh.
intuitive for him. Oh my-
I'm just saying, I'm a superior being. I'm not trying to,
Okay, Marsh, tell us who you are, why you're late, all that stuff.
I am not late. I'm right on time. No.
Are you a wizard?
And I'm a wizard. No, my name is Marshall Lee, and you might know me by Marsh Makes Comics on the YouTubes, and you can find my stuff at donkeyjawprojects.com and Marsh Comics on Twitter, on the Twatter, as Russ would say.
There's a bit of a delay. Have you guys noticed the lag between
I
strokes?
can't even draw for some reason. I lost the ability to draw.
Oh no, Scott,
In
believe
real
in
life?
yourself. You're a great artist.
I don't read physically. I mean the software.
I lost the ability to draw, but it has nothing to do
No, I'm
with
clicking on the brush and then I find a pencil and I've got a color here, so I'm not using an eraser or a white. It's not doing anything. It was working before. So I erased
Did
what
you
I
have
had.
an area selected? Try deselecting the whole thing. Maybe that's part of it.
All right, let me.
Marsh, I don't even know if you have facial hair right now. I
Oh,
can't.
maybe I do have a small area selected. That's probably what happened.
Not really. There's a little scruff.
Okay, a little scruff. None of these look like.
Ah, it works. All right, great.
All right.
Cool.
So who's next? Let's say Gas. Go for it.
Okay.
What did I do? I opened my Google Docs. No, it's okay.
All right,
Everything's
delete
fine.
hey,
If
what's
you
up?
click E, it doesn't erase. It just opens Google Docs, apparently.
Oh, good to know. I'm Gaz. I go by Gazbot. I am like Russ, infecting the internet everywhere, just about. You can usually find me as Gazbot. I do a comic that comes out extremely, extremely slowly called The Horror A4. It's an independent kaiju comic, like a Godzilla type thing. I also do a lot of prints and fan art that I sell, primarily Godzilla and Power Rangers, a little bit of Ninja Turtles, and yeah, I don't know what else. I have a YouTube channel that for years had art and comics, and then in the last year I started doing nothing but Power Rangers reviews, and it has better views now.
Okay, that's a cool introduction, and you know everything about technology, obviously, because you're explaining how to use the program to all of us.
No, it's just that you know so little, you guys, because I am terrible at technology, and my wife makes fun of me all the time. So it's like the one-eyed man is king in the land of the blind here.
Okay, so that's insulting. Thank you.
I intended it to be, so and you're reading it properly.
Okay, so Mike.
Yo.
Go on.
Who drove me as a wolf? I like that.
Oh, I'm supposed to. I'm Mike. What was the
Mike.
question?
Who are you? Tell us who you are, where you are, all that stuff.
Who even are you?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Mike Emirates. I make some comics sometimes and art, and you can find me at sisyphenecomplex.com. That's also the name of my comic. And used to be on YouTube, not anymore. You can find me on Instagram. Huzzah.
Don't you have a project coming out soon that you're collaborating with someone here, maybe?
Oh yeah. So Marsh and I are working on a little something that you might want to check out. And then actually, I just did a pinup for Russ here too for Only Death Can Save
Yeah.
Us,
Yeah,
which
fantastic
looks
pin up.
freaking amazing. Not my pinup, but the book. The pinup's it's okay.
The pin up's
You can chip
great.
in a little extra if you want, but
Who is
but
light
yeah,
blue?
that
Sorry.
book looks awesome.
I'm the turquoisey one that drew over the red one. Or
I'm the red one, and I'm not happy.
one of us drew over the other one. There,
That
there you
is not on.
Me and my misshapen potato head. You can't see it because I'm always facing the camera, but I'm not going to turn and reveal it.
Okay. New tech advice: Control Z does work, so you can undo with
Nice.
Control Z.
Oh, whoever's the
That
blue
is
nailed
the
it.
Americans in the room.
Okay, I have a lot to think about, to even think about dialects. So, and I think I posted publicly the link. So there's a lot of people here, like sharks and rhinoceros and all sorts.
It's true.
Yeah, that's okay. They can draw.
Oh, you mean? That's what I warned you about in the beginning.
I know, but I don't know how to do it. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, Infinite Roleplay is answering the D-Flex, but I got that. RS Contreras, I am saying that correctly, says, congrats, Teresa.
Thank
and then
you.
Salazar Art
Oh,
Nate
yeah,
says,
this is to
Yes.
celebrate.
Congratulations.
Excellent.
Congrats.
Yeah.
400 bingos.
So 400 what? Bingos.
Bingos. Yeah, why not?
Cool. So who? Oh, Scott, tell us, who are you?
Who am I? I am Scott Circlin from Circworks Art Labs, and I draw robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. I sort of play a mad scientist on YouTube, and I draw stuff, and I talk about art and advice about art and how to make a living at art. And if you want to learn how to make a comics, I have a course called Making Comics 101. It is free. It's on my YouTube channel, Circworks, on YouTube, and it'll pretty much show you everything you need to know about making comics from start to finish.
Okay, cool. Yann is not here. I was going through the list, but he said he might not be here. So it's only me. So you know me. My name is Teresa del Pilar, and this is my crazy 400 subs stream to celebrate. And we're gonna be actually talking about art a little bit and doing a few more drawings that are gonna be a little bit more elaborate than this. So the first question we have for today is, let's go for Mike's prompt and question. Okay, so because Gas was a little bit complicated. When you have that picture ready, we'll do yours, okay?
I have not had a chance to get the picture ready because we've been going nonstop.
That's true. I'm sorry. You can prepare it. We'll go Mike first, and then we'll do yours, okay?
Okay.
All right. So Mike's prompt is, and I'm gonna write it down so that everyone knows what I'm talking about. 90s indie comics.
90s indie comics. All right.
So you can draw anything that is related or adjacent to 90s indie comics or some character from a 90s indie comic. And his question is, what were the main things that influenced your art as a kid? Your biggest inspirations at that time? All right. Okay, so I have no idea. I think probably mine is obvious. It's Disney, right? Didn't we all watch Disney films when we were kids?
No.
What?
I mean, don't speak for me.
No,
I
you
was not
didn't
super
watch
into
Disney?
as a kid. I mean,
Oh,
did I
wow.
see some Disney films as a kid? Yes. Were they an inspiration to me at all? No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you speak for you, though. I just didn't want you speaking for me.
Okay. So what was your thing then? Like, for me,
No.
it was Disney, obviously.
Well, elaborate. I want to hear what you have to say.
No, yeah, I guess like for me the biggest thing was Disney. When I was a little girl, I used to watch what was Lady and the Tramp every day, all day, every day. I watched it for ages, and I loved the dogs, and that's I think why I draw so many animals. Lady and the Tramp, and then Dragon Ball. Yeah, so those are my two influences: Lady and the Tramp and Dragon Ball. I think were my biggest inspirations. How about you guys?
In chat, people are excited to see Scott. They're confused that he is not a real mad scientist.
So,
Everybody's saying hello, and then Infinite Roleplay said, would Image count as indie when it first came out? Which I assume it would.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know how to get back.
Definitely.
I moved my screen and now I don't know how to move it back.
There's a hand, like a little hand icon.
Oh shoot.
Okay,
No?
so how about you guys? I Disney and Dragon Ball. Those are my main things.
I guess I'll go. We're talking about, because I loved Star Wars as a kid, but that doesn't really influence my art at all. So I guess no, actually it does, because if it wasn't for Star Wars, I wouldn't have read comics, because the first comics I ever read were Star Wars comics, really. So I'll say Star Wars because it got me into comics, and then X-Men was my early influence, like Alan Davis through like Chris Silvestri era, and then Art Adams was a big influence, and then the biggest influence, for better or for worse, was Todd McFarlane when he was doing Spider-Man and then went on to Spawn and that stuff. Like, I liked him as a fan of his style and stuff, but also him and the whole Image crew just lit my mind on fire of like, you can be like rebel jerk superstars and say, I don't need to know how to draw and I could make more money than, John Byrne, and that sounds awesome to me. Like, so like everything about it, just, you're a kid, I'm going to tell you I'm Chad McFarlane and here's how you be cool. Like, that's who I want to be when I grow up. That's basically, so that was, not so much anymore, but at the time was gigantic for it to me.
I think for me, influences were straight up 90s Image comics. Like, that stuff was crazy, or just the indie scene in general. There was just a lot of really wild, crazy stuff going on at that time. Evil Ernie, Lady Death, The Mask, before the switched over to Disney and got all Disneyfied. Just Aliens versus Predator, Patriot. There's tons of just crazy characters coming out that were nothing like the superheroes. They were all like anti-hero type characters, or just crazy violent. Like all that stuff.
That's a good point. Actually, the character I'm drawing for my 90s indie one is Prime from Ultraverse.
Nice, perfect.
Because I was gonna do Image, but I figured that'd be too obvious, so I figured,
I think I'm doing a Ninja Turtle, but I don't remember the Ninja Turtles.
Acid Blaze says, "Hey everybody," which is funny because Ninja Turtles are certainly indie, but I always think of them as more 80s, like they were around in the 90s.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were the TV show was on in the 90s, right?
It started in like 89 or 88. It was like end of 80s into the 90s, but the comics started even earlier.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Well, it's good that you picked them.
Wait, but you're saying, Mike, that The Mask was like an indie comic?
Oh yeah, it was super
yeah.
hyper violent, like just guns and bullets, and it was actually one of the first big art pieces I did. It was this a copy of a Mask cover, and this was like, oh god, like 4th grade, and I brought this into my art teacher, and she just was like, oh, this is awesome. It was a Mask with like 3 or 4 different huge guns standing on top of this pile of bodies and bullets, and the school was like, you got to take this down, and my art teacher's like, no, it's really good, you should keep it. But yeah, super violent, nothing like what the Disney one turned out to be.
What, the one with Cameron Diaz and like Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, that was like my favorite film.
Well,
It's a little
maybe
bit
like
like that,
comics.
just with more murder.
There was more murder. Okay.
Yeah, a lot more murder.
Okay, that makes sense. What about you guys? Like, Scott, what's your biggest influence?
My biggest influence, it started off with probably before I even discovered comics. It was it was in reruns, the 60s Batman movies, and then our TV show, and then also, like Super Friends and that type of thing. And then once I discovered comics, it was Alpha Flight.
Yeah, Alpha Flight.
Yeah, Alpha Flight was the first comic that I kind of discovered, that I started collecting anyway. I don't know. It's hard to pick one particular influence. There's so many of them. I was a big fan of even like the Muppets and Jim Henson, which that'll lead it when we get into my prompts and stuff. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't say like puppets were much of an inspiration, because like for me it was cartoons. Anything that was drawn was the inspiration.
Well, Well, yeah, but you can
Although,
take
you know,
pictures
you
from
can.
other media. Like you might like the humor of the Muppets or the humanity of Kermit or something. Like I love the Muppets too, but I don't make puppets or anything 3D whatsoever.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can like other aspects. But I don't know, like what for me was like seeing something, some drawing, and thinking, oh, I'm gonna draw something cool too, and then it came out horrible, and then you
Ah,
stop.
did you get? Oh, I was gonna. Never mind.
And Marsh, what about you? I haven't heard you say anything yet.
What's the question again?
Welcome aboard, man.
It's what was your biggest influence as a kid? Like things that influenced your art.
Trying to think. I guess the obvious ones is the image guys. I've talked about that a million times. I mean, like the Sunday, like the newspaper, like funnies and stuff like that was huge. That was probably the first stuff like growing up that I like copied. I know I had like some old Scooby-Doo like books or whatever. I used to copy those. Yeah, I don't know. The cartoons, it was all in there. Ninja Turtles, a lot of stuff you guys said, were big influences on me. But when it comes to seriously getting into art, I mean, how to draw comics the Marvel way is literally how I learned how to draw.
Yeah,
Putting
same.
forms together and learning that something called a gesture existed, and like everything in there was all brand new to me. And they didn't teach that in any actual like art classes, even up to I've never been taught most of those things in an art class because they don't want to teach you that way. So that was probably maybe the biggest influence on my art was, hey, Buscema, actually, without me even knowing it.
Wow. Yeah.
Marvel, the how to draw comics the Marvel way.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, that is a good one.
I think the biggest difference for me is that I just didn't draw as a kid. So like I wanted to look at those drawings, but I didn't actually draw. So maybe there was something in those other comics that was like, oh, this is something that I can do. It looks cool, blah blah blah. But for me, it was just like, oh, these things are moving. This is awesome. But yeah,
Has everybody answered? Or
no, Russ.
No, I'm gonna be dull and boring.
Okay.
You probably already know my answer.
Bronze
Yeah,
Age
I'm a bit older than you guys. My influences were definitely John Buscema, Sal Buscema, Joe Sinnott, Ditko, Stalin. Mostly, I would have to say Buscema. And I loved Palmer, but really Joe Sinnott sinks over the top. The first comic I ever bought with my own money regularly was a comic called Captain Britain.
Oh yeah,
and in the UK, and they had all the '60s reruns of Fantastic Four, inked by Joe Sinnott, and then they also had reruns of Steranko's Nick Fury Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then they carried on in that way, and just all of it, just that was where most of it came from, most of my inspiration, and then the 90s turned up, and
you must have hated the 90s.
no, I absolutely love Jim Lee and the other guy that took over from Jim Lee,
Silvestri.
Yes, Silvestri. He's just stunning art. Nothing like what I do, but I absolutely loved it, and tried to be a Jim Lee clone at one point. Didn't everyone? But that until I found myself.
Right.
But yeah, I loved their work and loved the energy of what was going on in the 90s, and if you can combine that with the slick storytelling of the the Bronze Age, because I think in the 90s that the bombastic art and the energy was fantastic, but they lacked a little in storytelling.
Mhm.
And I think if you can combine those two, it's just an amazing way of approaching comics. So a little bit of the 90s, but mostly Bronze Age for me.
Nice.
Cool.
How are you guys getting 2 layers? I thought we only get 1 layer each. Now I
Yeah,
don't.
no, I was like
can
my
add
little character.
you
I was
can
looking
add
at you
layers.
guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I've not been doing a good job with chat.
Don't you know Photoshop? Jeez.
I don't. I am worse. I'm worse than everybody now. It's that quick. I'm a god or a worm. Nothing in between.
Yeah, you got all comfy because you were better than us, and now
That's
it's
true.
past.
But I also, like I said, I've been skipping a lot of the chat because I was paying attention to drawing. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Creed. Oh yeah, Creed says that in the 90s, all my art was inspired by Vampire the Masquerade, which I was playing at the time. Grumheim says, "Hey, Mask was Dark Horse. Infinite Roleplay. They call me the Cuban Bee. What's up? Dup. Sup. A lot of saying hello in various ways from various people. Emperor and Vol loves the fantasy. Henson, Dark Crystal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then they started learning banjo because of Kermit, which is fantastic. Marsh Zone. Little Ninja Studio says Brian Froud is amazing. I don't know. Did we talk about Brian Froud? Who's Brian Froud?
Yeah, he did the designs for Dark Crystal.
Oh, okay. Well, then
fantasy artist.
Without knowing his name, I agree. A lot of people talking about the Frouds now and Labyrinth, and it's
Labyrinth. That's my jam right
Love
there.
the Wall of Hands. Emperor Vol. I'm crying for crayon deprived Teresa. Someone draw Oogie Boogie, and now we're all caught up. I thought that was a cartoony Venom actually, but it does. I could see the Oogie Boogie.
That's a cartoony Venom, yeah. Yeah, I don't know who's who. I'll be honest.
I'm guessing the big guy in the bottom is Russ.
No.
Oh, well then I have no idea who anyone is then. That was the only one I
I
even
don't know who the big guy on the bottom is. Hold on.
Me neither. But
That's
he
Mike,
looked,
right?
Who's Prime? Is that?
Oh, that's me. Or
That's-
wait, no.
Yeah,
it's
that's
the bottom left.
This is
who's coloring? The only
Mike,
one that's
right?
done any
I'm
coloring.
I put my
coloring.
initials
Okay,
next to
so,
mine.
okay.
That's
Ah, that's
superb.
you, Mike. So who's this?
I don't
The
know.
one that looked the prime in the middle, that's me. The one on the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah.
and this is Marsh,
Oh,
right?
The one that says MC right here is me.
Oh wow, I could not tell in a million years who was who. This is ridiculous.
I can't.
Who's
I
Oogie
don't know how to
Boogie?
draw with this program.
Yeah, it's
That's
not.
Teresa.
It's not as smooth as Clip Studio. I can tell
No.
you.
Well, and
that.
there's definitely a lag. Like every time I make a mark, it
Yeah.
comes in like half a second later.
Wow.
I don't have a lag. I just like when I touch, like if I can't rest my hand on the screen, or it'll do weird things.
That what? Mine doesn't do that. I think that's your screen. I'm literally putting my whole hand on the screen right now. Nothing's happening.
I should just draw with my finger.
Wait, do you draw with a stylus?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
I'm on the iPad.
Yeah, I draw not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Who's drawing what looks like me?
What?
I don't know. It's just somebody smiling like an idiot with dumb hair. I figured it was me.
That's Tank Girl. It's me. I'm drawing.
Oh
Tank.
yeah. Okay, I'm.
Because I
Tank
just
Girl.
remember, isn't Tank Girl indie comics from the 90s?
Oh, nice.
Dark Horse, yeah, well done.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Who's
Yeah, I was
Deadline.
like, I was trying to copy you guys because I was like, I have no idea.
I like Sporkman. Or
Yeah, I didn't know we were supposed to draw actual heroes. I was just trying to create my own hero.
That's what I did. I don't know. Just a
Oh.
random 90s guy.
well, it was who's.
I figured
Like, it was
everyone
your
in the
topic.
90s had claws and stuff, so I figured
Oh
Yeah.
well, that
little
was.
sporks.
I was thinking tiny heads, bionic arms, lots of guns.
Okay, but you have a flavor for the general thing. I
Well,
don't have it.
I agree that the head should be tinier. Boop.
No!
Perfect.
All right. So I really want to finish this Tank Girl. So I wanted to continue talking about this point, but I think we've all said our influences already.
Also,
So I'm
I
gonna
think,
continue this Tank Girls. You guys can continue your several superheroes and stuff, and I'll go to the next prompt. Okay, or the next question, not next prompt.
Oh, okay.
The next question is coming from Scott, and I think it ties in well with this one. What is one lesson you've learned from a children's television show that sticks with you till this day? And then he's put in brackets some suggestions like Sesame Street, He-Man, G.I. Joe, Schoolhouse Rock, etc. Yeah, actually,
Everyone.
Actually, I was gonna say The Mask was probably the one that stuck with me. It was like the first film that I watched that for me had a message that I understood because, of course, I was like 10 years old or younger. I can't remember how old I was, but like it was the first time I watched a film and I got the idea. It's like, oh, it's like we wear these masks and they make us powerful, but then we forget who we are. And it was like so profound to me. So it's like
yeah,
it
you're not-
teaches
you're
you
not
not to
wrong.
wear a mask, even if it gives you power. And I thought, like, when Jim Carrey throws the mask into the, I remember that scene when Jim Carrey throws the mask into the river. I thought that was super profound. I was like, I will never wear a mask. Jim Carrey is right.
And then 2020 came.
True that. So yeah, I would say it's the mask. That stuck with me quite a lot.
What's the new prompt for this question?
The prompt is draw yourself as a Muppet.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Okay. All right.
I'm still trying to draw the one I was drawing.
Well, I thought we were only doing like 15 minutes or so, because otherwise we're gonna
Yeah,
be here for like 5
this
hours.
sucks anyways, so that's okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the layer. Sorry, I didn't keep it moving. But yeah, you can move on to drawing ourselves as Muppets. Go for it. So who has a profound message from a kids show to share with us?
I'll go next. I can't. I don't have like, oh, this one episode of G.I. Joe or this one movie or anything like that. But growing up in the 80s, just all of those shows and media I consumed at the time definitely imparted in me a sense of like, whether it was the end of the show or just like the through line of it was just like everybody's equal. It doesn't matter what race you are, women, men, black, white, gay, straight. It's all, everybody is equal and the same and deserving of human rights, and you should use your strength to protect the weak. Being powerful doesn't make you strong. It's what you do with the power. So everybody's equal and use your power for good is kind of what I got out of everything I watched that I liked in the 80s.
Okay, I don't remember that, but I guess it was like follow your dreams and respect everybody and protect the weak was kind of like everywhere.
Well, that's what I was saying. It wasn't like, I mean, I could give examples, but it was, G.I. Joe, Thundercats, He-Man, like whatever, it was all, by today's standards, it might seem a little bit, regressive or ham-fisted or whatever. But at the time it was, just being someone that grew up in like white suburbs, like, a lot of the first people of color or whatever that I saw were like, Iceberg from G.I. Joe, or, what I mean? So.
Yeah. Okay. Control T doesn't transform anything, by the way. It just creates a new
tab.
Yes. Okay. It's confusing because I cannot use the typical shortcuts. It's very
Agreed.
confusing. All right. Yeah. I cannot remember those messages, but like for some reason, like the mask was. Why? Right. So who has a good message from a cartoon?
Mine's kind of the same as Gaz, actually. All my morals and stuff came from He-Man and G.I. Joe and all that, after the episode kind of messages, like today we learned that, you should not duplicate yourself into a million different things and try to take over Eternia, stuff like that.
Very relevant.
It applies in my adult life now too. Don't try to take over Eternia. It's not a good plan.
I learned a lot. I learned not to start forest fires.
Oh yeah.
Me
Forest
too.
fires. I learned don't do drugs.
Yeah.
To treat your
Seriously,
mom.
that's but I've never actually done any illegal drugs. So
Me neither.
it must have
You know
made
why?
an impact.
You know why, Scott? Because users are losers.
Yeah. I pity the fool who uses drugs.
So don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Hey, if you know a user even part of the time, tell them to quit, take a bite out of crime, because users. Anyway, so clearly I haven't seen that since I was a child, but it is part of me now. So something worked with McGruff.
I learned it from you. From you.
Yeah, no, but that's true. But those weren't even necessarily the shows, but the interstitials between them, like all that stuff had huge impact on me.
I know what my brain looks like on drugs now. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, did we lose Russ?
Did we?
I don't see his little icon up anymore. and he's not speaking in his
Oh,
lovely
wow.
accent.
Oh yeah, add to stream. There
Hey.
you go.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, the third in
Yeah.
command is
Yann, to the
back.
rescue.
Technical difficulties. I can't get into my layer anymore, so you might want to delete it.
Oh no.
Oh,
I have a new layer now.
You have a new layer now. I don't. I
Yeah.
can't interact with your layer. This is not. I'm not in control of any of this. This
All right.
program doesn't work like that.
can you just turn the eyeball off, maybe? So we
No, I
can...
can't. I can't access it at all.
No, I meant
Oh,
Teresa.
man.
Maybe she could.
What,
Oh,
the eyeball? That's
Yeah.
my layer.
No,
No,
every
I
layer
cannot
has-
interact with anyone's layer. I do not own this session.
I can.
Oh,
I
there you go.
ownership.
So how do I add another layer, guys?
Here, there's a little like create
Oh.
new file type thing.
there you go.
A what?
I don't know how I did that. I can't.
It's you see the opacity?
I'm looking.
It's 100% opacity on the right hand side.
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
catch
I see opacity.
while-
Right.
while you guys-
Right underneath, there's like a.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Infinite
Oh,
Roleplay's
okay.
first art inspiration was from Death Dealer and Jaguar
Oh,
God.
that just created a copy.
If anybody turned off Russ
Yeah,
layer, can they turn off the layer 5 as well?
I tried, but I can't.
Oh,
I don't know how I even got control of the other one in the first place.
Emperor and Vol. Emperor Vol says Russ is the bald guy near the bottom. I don't know. At some point that was relevant, I guess. Emperor Roleplay, but I was like at 6 at the time. Emperor Vol, the Astonishing Spork. Pretty sure Jim Lee was on that for a while.
Oh, is that a real thing? I didn't realize that was a real
I don't think
character.
it was. I think that they're joking.
Oh, okay.
Infinite Roleplay. I learned that in a book, it's just a look. Reading Rainbow. Yeah, Reading Rainbow is a big,
Oh yeah,
and you don't have to take my word for it.
classic.
Acid Lace, like in the Marsh joke about masks. Infinite Roleplay. Don't forget Care Bears, Punky Brewster, and Rainbow Bright. Yeah, all that stuff.
Oh, Rainbow Bride was my jam.
The one dude looks like Guy Smiley. I don't know which
Yeah,
one he means, but
That's me, I think.
oh yeah, Scott
Oh.
Guy Smiley. Yeah. Batman would not approve. Use the add layer button. No, it was a joke.
I get it.
All right, we're all caught up.
I don't know why I needed to worry about it. It's not like this is permanent. I don't know.
You're gonna get sued,
I
dude.
don't want my black layer to interfere with my blue line layer, but this thing is going to be gone in a minute. So
This is permanent. What are you talking about? This
Yeah.
is super permanent.
it is permanent on the internet unless you delete it.
Exactly. This will be part of your resume from now on until forever.
So did anybody not answer the question? I'm guessing
Yeah,
Russ.
Russ, because
Yeah.
he didn't.
what was
exist.
the question?
And you might have a different. Well, Teresa might too, but like, just what children's show? What is the biggest lesson you learned from a children's show? Like whether it's Sesame Street or Schoolhouse Rock or I don't know what if you guys
Blue
have
Peter or
don't turn the telly off when Dad's watching.
oh,
Wow, the best lesson. Ooh. The ghosts were always the mayor in disguise.
That's important. That's stuff that is relevant.
I'll tell you, going with the British theme, I'll tell you a children's show that as an adult, there's a quote that I use all the time. Doctor Who, one of the more recent seasons, Peter Capaldi was the doctor, and he had a whole big speech, but basically it came down to like never cowardly, never cruel, and like that shit. I think about that often in my life. Like if I'm faced with a dilemma or if I'm judging somebody else's behavior, like I always come back to like never cowardly, never cruel. That's like fucking words to live by. So that's a kid show that as a man, I still got something out of.
Yeah, that's good. and jelly babies. Yeah.
Angelica,
Oh, yeah.
Jelly babies.
that's the second most important thing Dr. Who
Yeah.
taught me is that there's a candy called Jelly Babies that I can't get in America.
Would you like a jelly baby?
I imagine they're like gummy bears, right?
Yeah, just a bit softer on the inside.
Like
Okay.
babies.
They're a bit
Oh.
gooier. Yeah.
It's like the experience of eating a baby, but legal.
Oh shit! So I
That's
can just
dark.
put some sugar on my kid and take a bite, and then I know what's up.
You don't even have to go to the UK.
Perfect.
Why would you want to? Really?
I didn't even get a chance to like look at other people's drawings. I was so concerned with mine. These are great.
You can rewatch the
Yeah,
stream.
Scott, you even got a hand going and the puppeteer and everything. That's fantastic.
Oh
Yeah.
wow!
Look at
I
that.
hadn't actually looked up, but you are actually making yourself into puppets. I just created like myself as a puppet, but as a puppet. You know?
Oh no, we're doing like likenesses of ourselves as a puppet.
No, I wasn't going for that. I was going for like I would like to be a dog with a big
You
mouth.
didn't listen to the instructions, Teresa.
It's true.
What did your dog just do? Oh my gosh.
Oh, but don't worry, it's felt.
Yeah. By the way,
Like a little
it's
pat on it.
over here,
I'm
Marco.
gonna draw a little patch.
That's Mark. He's coming to the chat and he's doing an awesome job. He drew the Venom before, and now he's drawing an awesome version of him.
Oh,
He's not
that's
in the chat
yeah.
with us, but he's drawing. So that's my buddy Mark right there.
Mark. He also has the little dowels on the arms. You guys are
Yeah, he has all the details. But you know why? Because he's not contributing to this very highbrow conversation we're having.
Whoa. Yeah,
He's just up.
that's freaky.
These are great.
I like the idea of like being a puppet and having two mouths, like those fish that are super scary. So you have like your cute mouth and you have your real mouth where you eat the babies. You know?
I didn't know there were fish out there with two mouths.
this is news to me as well.
No, you know the ones that have like a lantern at the top of their heads.
Oh,
Oh,
like an
yeah.
anglerfish.
Yeah, those ones.
Is that a
Oh,
mouth or a
I
light?
didn't think they had two mouths. I thought, yeah.
No, but they have like one that is fake. Like a little smile mouth. I don't know. Maybe I'm making this stuff up. I don't know. I don't know biology.
Let's check chat.
Are we-
Okay,
Wait.
Acid
I am in charge here. So second in command, check chat, please.
All right, that was very efficient. Acid Lace says the multiplication song from Schoolhouse Rock got me through the SATs. That's
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
no doubt.
Laughing from Vol, Infinite Roleplay Children's Show lesson. Wait till your father gets home. And then Emperor Vol, it's like eating baby but legal. Teresa de Pilar 2020. Rocket Ship Evan, streams coming together to make a great strong river. People are like that, coming together, working together to make a strong city, a strong country, a strong planet. But the keywords are working together. That's what makes a mighty river or a mighty Voltron. Dude, that's great. I felt it. I really felt it.
I felt like he was running for president or something just now.
Yeah,
that?
president
Who
of
said
the planet
that?
Eris, apparently. Emperor Vol, did Teresa just make a second baby eating reference? And then people are enjoying Rocket Ship Evans' quote.
I'm trying to get a message out there like the cartoons.
Did everybody answer this question that we're on?
Which question?
I think so.
About what you learned as a kid from kid things?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. Let's go to your question, Gaz, and to your prompt. Are you ready to show us what you meant? Because you chose
I put a link in the private chat, actually, so you could just click that. But do you want me to paste it up so that the world can see?
Yeah, the world needs to see.
Okay. This is just okay. This is just one example. Hold on. Copy image. Hopefully this works this time. Control V, not working. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so this is one example. These are space characters, but they're sometimes army men. They're sometimes cowboys and Native Americans. They're sometimes whatever, and they're also like rubber erasers that I've seen do this. And there was little pink muscle men in the 80s. So I'm not saying do what I'm showing you here. I'm saying everybody from the 70s, maybe in the 60s until today had some bag of toys where they were all one color and they had some sort of theme. Draw one of those. But to be clear for people like Teresa, I'm not saying make one up. I'm saying pick one from your childhood or look it up online right now and actually draw one of the ones that exist.
What do you mean for people like Teresa?
And if you didn't have one, you're screwed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just so you know, a long time ago that image you just showed on the screen, that group of space aliens,
Yes.
it's called Galaxy Laser Team.
Okay.
And I did, as just an exercise, I basically took that because I wanted to do like this fan art, but I wanted something that had no actual story to it.
Do you have a series of art of these characters somewhere?
Yeah. Well, I thought it's on my hard drive, but I thought I posted on a blog, but it was on my old website, so it's down. But
I would love to see that.
Yeah, I can send it to you, but I might redo them because they're I did them kind of humorously, but I might want to do them more like realistically. But
right.
But I wrote backstories to all the characters, and I wrote
I'm into it. That particular one is one that I did remember from a kid, so I would absolutely love to see your take on it, old or new.
Yeah.
But is everybody clear on the prompt though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just lost my layer. Oh, it's here. How did it get there?
How am I getting other people's layers? What is happening?
Why do you control Mike? I don't
I lost
understand.
my layer,
By
but
the power of Mike.
Yeah. I created this session and then Mike is in control. I really don't understand.
I'm not though. I don't know what happened. Oh, I
I
got my
feel we
layer.
are in control.
And now I
feel the
lost the other.
power.
What is happening?
Okay.
Why is this happening?
So okay. So I'm gonna try and do these things that you told us to draw. And what was your prompt? Tell us your prompt.
Oh, my prompt was I tried to make it related. So when you were younger, a kid or whatever, when you were learning, did you ever draw your toys like as reference or for whatever? Like, did you ever draw that? And if so, what was the first toy you remember drawing? And if not, then if you never did, then as an adult, what toy do you think would be fun to draw?
Okay.
I had monsters in my pocket. You guys remember those? At all?
Kind of.
Oh my
Monsters
god!
in my pocket.
They had a comic series and everything. They were awesome.
And you used to draw them a lot?
No, never.
What? That was the question.
Oh, that was the question?
The prompt was, did you ever draw any of your toys when you were a kid? And if so, which ones do you ever draw?
God.
And if not, as an adult, what do you think to draw? You're like, yeah, monsters in my pocket. Never drew.
The security with which you said it, yeah, monsters in my pocket. Like you do them every day for breakfast.
I literally thought you were going to be like, Scott, like, yeah, I did a whole series, every single one I ever owned. It was great.
Nope. I played with them in the bathtub. That's about it. And I often had them in my pocket where I went various places.
So, Mike, did you draw any other toys that maybe you owned or didn't own?
No, actually, no, none. I mean, I draw some like now, I guess, like later, just for reference.
Well, what have you drawn? What do you think would be fun to draw now as an adult?
Toy wise,
all right. Anybody else want to go?
I used to like cannibalize my Stars action figures and whatever action figures I had. I used to take them apart and make different characters or just whatever. And I would make up my own toy lines, and I'd make like draw the card backs and stuff to them.
Oh,
and I remember creating like a team of superheroes, or not superheroes, but like aliens, and each one of them were from a different planet. So I had like the Mercury guy, and he was like made out of fire, and I forgot what all the other ones were, but I just kind of made up my own line of, toys.
Would you be using the Frankenstein figures as reference? So like go ahead.
I don't know which came first, the actual figures or the drawings. I guess the figures would have to be, because I didn't build them all. Like I would do a couple, and then I would design the rest of them and never get around to them.
Right.
But I would also do the same thing with I'd take Hot Wheels and try to turn them into Transformers and make different kind of Transformers and stuff like that.
Combiners.
So I did the same thing with that. So
that's cool.
I never drew any toys, and I have never thought of it. But I used to write stories about my G.I. Joes and my little ponies working together to defeat the dinosaurs that were attacking my city.
That's fantastic. So you were a writer as a kid, basically.
Yeah, I wrote a lot of ridiculous stories about cats that get abandoned in the summer by evil families, and they become angels. And
wow!
Save the planet from the dinosaurs. It was always like dinosaurs.
Yeah, you hated dinosaurs.
No, I love them, but they were evil. They attack you.
They've got to be taken out.
Even though they went extinct way before you came around, you were still concerned.
Yeah. I had this theory that they lived underground and they would come someday and get us.
Wow.
Gotcha.
And G.I. Joes and ponies would team up to, defeat them.
I like that. Would the G.I. Joes ride the My Little Ponies?
Yes, absolutely. But after becoming friends, because at the beginning it would be like, don't touch me. Yeah.
Oh, so was issue 1 was laser guns and missiles against magic unicorn dust and stuff?
No, it was always like this sort of thing where the judges were tough and military, and the opponents were really nice, and they didn't get on. And in the end, it was about how they became friends and they learned how to get on. It was more about that than about the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were just an excuse to force them to be friends.
Classic
Gotcha.
Marvel team up.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was super fun. I loved the two shows, and putting them together was so much fun. So yeah.
Let me.
But you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking those body coons. You know what I'm talking about? Those toys that you pose to draw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, has anyone got one of those? Like,
I,
have you?
I keep saying I want to get one, and then I never get around to ordering.
I've got a couple.
Is
The
somebody
little
drawing
ones.
Baron Karza?
Yeah.
That's awesome, but that's a much cooler toy than the ones I was talking about.
I was trying to think, did I ever have like little army men? And I didn't. But I was an absolute nut for Micronauts when I was a kid.
You were a micronut?
I was a Micronaut. Very fun.
Well, I'll tell you what, Russ. You absolutely did not fulfill the assignment, but because it's Micronauts and it's awesome, I don't care.
So yeah, bodycon. So how does that bodycon work? Do you use it at all, or is it just like you bought it because it was on an Instagram ad and then you realize they're useless?
That's harsh.
No, I'm asking a question. Sorry.
But it's actually quite true.
Yeah, that's been the same for me too.
Yeah. No, I've used them a couple of times, but by the time you've posed them, you just make it up in your head.
You might as well have drawn it, right?
Yeah.
I have a black suit Spider-Man that I and it's super articulated that I would do that with, but mostly just I would use it a lot just to see how shadows cast on the figure. Not so much.
This is as an adult. Did you ever? Oh
Yeah.
no, wait, you already answered that question. Sorry.
Yeah, I already answered. Yeah.
Who didn't answer the kid question part?
Marsh is very
I don't know
quiet.
too.
Yeah, Marsh.
Marsh.
No, I didn't really draw characters as a kid. I didn't draw toys as a kid, but kind of similar to what Teresa was saying. Like again with the Scooby-Doo like children's book. I didn't know this was like in nursery school or before nursery school. Like I didn't know how to write words, but I would copy the letters the best I could, and I thought I was writing a story when I was doing that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So you were plagiarizing.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
But I remember,
that.
I don't know if you really meant like exactly what you meant as far as like what we should draw here, but I'm drawing like those muscle figures, those little.
yeah.
No, that's perfect. Unlike Russ, you've got it exactly.
It's so funny because when I was a kid, there was this contest where we had to write a poetry piece, like, I don't know, a poem or something for the Virgin of May, because I went to a nun school, right? But yeah,
Wait,
the
what's the Virgin
nuns
of
told
May?
us to, the Virgin Mary, like there's
Okay.
there's one for every occasion. It's like Barbie, right? So that you have the Virgin of the Pillar, the Virgin of May, the Virgin of, like
I've never
many
heard-
virgins.
I knew they had lots of saints. I didn't know they had lots of virgins. That's cool.
Yeah. So like every time the Virgin Mary appears, they get a new name and she gets a new figure, and it's
A new
very
figure? So this
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
toy that you drew?
to figure out on parades and stuff. Anyway, long story short, they told us to write a poem for the Virgin Mary, and I copied it from like one of the most famous poets ever. And I thought I wasn't gonna be caught, and my teacher caught me, and she was like, "This poem is from this poet," and I was like, "No, never."
You denied it. That's fantastic.
And ever since then, I learned that plagiarism is not worth it because they always catch you.
And then the next thing you learned was when you saw The Mask.
Yeah. Those are the two lessons I learned in childhood. Don't plagiarize and be yourself, which is pretty much the same lesson.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah, actually, that's true. So, who else? Marsh, Russ, did you answer it? I don't think you did, right? Did you draw any?
Micronauts.
That, huh?
Micronauts. That was it. That was what I did.
Did you draw your Micronauts when you were a kid?
Yes,
though?
I did. I did draw my
Oh, that's
Micronauts when I
fantastic.
was a kid. And then something actually I did was the original Micronauts comics came out when I was a kid.
Those are great.
And I remember redrawing a whole page at the same size because I didn't know. I didn't know back then that they used to draw things at 1.5 times the size. And I redrew the whole page, several pages, made a comic out of it.
Wow, that's difficult.
Yeah,
That's good training, though.
yeah. It's good training at the time. Yeah.
And that's the reason why Russ draws better than me. Because he drew my
That's subjective.
Yes, subjective for me. You know who hasn't answered the question? You guys, you haven't answered the question.
Oh, yeah. I used to draw my own toys all the time, and I continue to. But the first one I remember was in like elementary school, like very young. I want to say like 2nd or 3rd grade. And we had an art class, and the teacher brought out a box of like Hot Wheels cars and dumped it on the table and was like, pick one of these and draw it. Like that's your assignment. And I remember doing it, and like that was also one of the first times I knew that I was like better than the average person in my class at drawing, because like I just did my best to draw exactly what I saw. Like it was like a very realistic style for whatever age I was. And the teacher's like, that's amazing. That's so, everybody look at this. It looks just like, look, you got the little detail. It was very full of details, which again would follow me into the rest of my life of art. And but it was like, oh, look at all these details. And look, you got the dish, and the hubcap has 3 lines, and he did, and like used it as like an example. And that stuck with me of like, wow, okay, I guess I got some ability. But then it parlayed into later that year, that week, whatever. A friend brought in some toys. I think it was like RoboForce or some crappy robot from the 80s. And I wanted to play with it. And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, how about if I draw it for you? And they're like, oh, that sounds good. And so then I drew it for them and effectively got to have it and play with it all day, as long as I gave them a nice drawing of it at the end of the day. And that became a thing I did a lot. Anytime somebody had a cool toy that I wanted to play with, like, I will draw it for you. And then all of a sudden I'm playing with their Jetfire until the end of the day. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
that left a huge impression on me. There was definitely like a reward system built in very quickly for my drawings.
And now you do that for a living, commissions. What do you
Yeah.
It's like your first freelance job or something. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And it is that good.
So that's so much nicer than my first commissions.
Which
Because
were?
my first commissions were all nudie drawings.
Oh, yeah. Well, nobody brought in any nudie toys. If they brought in sex toys, then that would have been a different thing.
Yeah.
Kids, with robots and planes and stuff.
It really is funny because like it sounds like the typical lesson of your teacher had a hangover. It's like, here, draw this guy.
Draw this guy.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I'm gonna be an artist for the rest of my life. You never know when you're gonna, change someone's life.
Yeah, it's true. And it also, with the transactional nature of the toys, it also established my mercenary mindset for art, where it's like, art for art's sake is bullshit. I need to get something out of this. Like,
Excellent, yeah.
What a horrible lesson.
Yeah, I know, and it's made me unhappy. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, so there are comments. I opened the thing on.
Oh, you can do it?
No, I'm on my phone. You see.
Oh, look. Oh,
because
good.
if I do it, I would have to change thingies. So very
Snarf.
this is technical terms actually. Thingies is technical.
Thingies.
I cannot explain it, but I don't know where we were. But I'm gonna just randomly. Oh, the river comment.
There you go. The Voltron
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
People are talking about a lot of classic Micronaut. They're talking about the Micronauts a lot. I don't even know what a Micronaut is, and suddenly it's like this.
Later on, they were known as interchangeables. I think they got rebranded. Maybe you knew them as that.
Mm.
No.
And then later, still Pack Toys bought a lot of the molds and rebranded them as Lords of Light, which was discontinued very quickly, but it had little glow sticks in them. Maybe you saw it as that.
No.
Okay.
Give up.
If you don't know Micronauts, you probably don't know this.
Well, because I was thinking of an age thing, because like
that's
Micronauts for me were like I read the comics, but they were old, and like I had the toys, but they were old. Like the ones that were contemporary for me were the next generations of it. So I thought maybe
Yeah, unfortunately, I was around when the Micronauts first came out in America.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forgot what they were based on in Japan, but
Yeah.
Microman.
oh, okay.
Well, there's people saying there's infinite roleplay saying, oh my God, Scott, I did that too. I customized all my bootleg G.I. Joes and then made monsters using pipe cleaners.
Oh, I used to
Oh,
make
I
pipe
used to
cleaner
do
monsters
that.
too. Yeah.
for sure.
What the
forgot
heck?
about that.
What? You customize your toys? That's really cool. And then Imperium Vol says Planet of the Apes action figures. That's pretty cool.
Oh, nice, like the Mego ones.
Yeah. And then Acid Lay says she had a, well, I'm guessing it's a girl. She had a Barbie army, but she didn't draw them.
Barbie Army, awesome.
Yeah.
My wife had she had like small GI Joes that she inherited from her brother, and she had Barbies and like all of her toys were hand me downs. So she had big Barbies and small GI Joes, but she would play with them together. And she'd tell me she'd always be like, yeah, like Barbie joined the Joe army because she's like a giant, and so she's like their most powerful asset. That makes so much sense. Like,
Is she that much bigger than GI Joes? I thought they were the same scale.
Barbies are huge. Barbies are like 12 inches tall. GI Joes are like 3.75 inches.
Yep. Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking, because I never had GI Joes, but I had $6 Million Man. I'm pretty sure $6 Million.
Oh no, the old GI Joes from like the 60s and 70s were 12 inch.
Okay.
But I was saying the 80s Joes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Again, I'm old, so
I thought Scott. I thought we established you and me were about the same age.
probably.
All lies.
I'm 49, so.
I'm 43. Okay, so I'm a little bit younger then, I guess.
Damn it, Scott, you're looking good for your age, son.
Okay, stop the flirting. Listen to this, because Peter Palmieri is saying, I shaded in the peanut characters in their daily strips, making them more three-dimensional. There you go.
Awesome.
That's cool. It's not a toy, but it's a cool story.
And it makes sense.
Nice,
because, like, he
unrelated
started being a
anecdote,
mercenary in primary school, and he started like inking in primary school too.
I'm running out of things to do with this guy. Are we going on to the next prompt?
Did everybody answer the question?
I don't know. Did
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, then let's move on.
Okay. I got this. I have my phone on me. So let's do mine, because mine is cool. My prompt is pugs.
they? Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that really pops with the color there, Russ. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, let's do pugs. And my question is one would you rather one, okay? So would you rather be rich and famous for creating comics that are really crappy, or create awesome comics and have nobody else in this planet know that it was you who made them?
Oh.
Oh,
I could answer this easy and first.
yeah.
I would rather be rich and famous for shitty comics. Crappy comics, sorry. Pardon my language.
Yeah.
I know that's not a good answer, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself that that's the answer, because I want to be a good artist, like objectively, creative person and stuff. But if I'm being honest, if I made really awesome art and nobody saw it, nobody knew it was me, I'd be a very frustrated, angry person. That I'd be like, this art's great. Why does and then people praise it and they don't know it's me? I can't create art in a vacuum, and so I would rather have crappy or mediocre art that would get me attention than be this recluse who was a genius that never got recognized. Plus, if I was rich, then I could do other things that made myself happy, like with the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't feel too bad. I mean, I would have a similar answer. I would have the answer like if you get 3 wishes, and the cheating answer where you'd wish for more wishes. But I would say I'd be rich and famous drawing the crappy comic, the one that everyone sees, and then just for myself, I'd draw whatever I wanted, because I'd have the freedom to do that. And
Wouldn't you still have that same crummy style? Like,
Yeah, you have to.
Oh, okay. Well, if it was just for me, I guess. Yeah, well, that's okay. If it was for me, I guess to me, it's not just are we just talking about the art, or is like the story stock and the
Everything sucks. It's a horrible comic.
think of a comic you don't like, and that's the comic you're creating.
It's worse than that, actually.
Right.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah, it has to be really crappy, but you become like super rich and famous.
Is it so crappy that like you're like the joke of? Are you like sort of the?
No.
I hate to poop on Rob Liefeld because it's so easy, and he seems like a nice guy. But let's say like I imagine it being like Rob Liefeld, where he is rich and famous, but a lot of people don't like his stuff.
Not that I'm not happy with who I am, but I wouldn't necessarily want to be anyone else. But if it was a different kind of scenario, Rob Liefeld, I mean, he does have his fans and people that love his work, and especially when it came out and everything. I mean,
but Teresa, this was your topic. Is that a fair comparison?
I think Rob Liefeld doesn't objectively make crappy comics, all of them. Like he's made some good stuff. So I know that you're worse.
So,
than-
so that's not okay. So then don't listen to me, Scott. I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know how a comic would get to be that successful and be totally crappy unless it was like a Twilight comic or something.
Exactly. Like maybe you're making like sexy vampires or
Oh, right. Like
know.
it's such just a niche thing. Like,
Uh,
everybody likes when you draw sexy pugs in Argyle for some reason, and even though you're not good at it, you're the only one who does it. So, sexy pugs in
sexy
Argyle.
pugs. Yeah, exactly.
Scott Sutherland.
I would say, seeing as we're not being specific about what it means to you. So when you say crappy comics, if it was about telling a story to lots of people, then the only way to tell your story would be to have crappy comics and be the millionaire. Then I'd have the crappy comics and be the millionaire, because at least I'd be communicating with people, which is pretty much why I went into comic. I mean, I love the artwork. That's what it's about. But it's all about that communication. It's all about that getting to other people with the story. So it's a bit of a misnomer, isn't it? Because if they were crappy, would you be telling a decent story?
Well,
Tricky.
things could be popular. I mean, like the Transformers movies are extremely popular, but I would argue that they're all terrible.
Yeah, but then you could say there's good elements to them. Like whoever did the special effects was obviously very talented.
I mean, yeah.
Well, you see, I see the Transformers films in a kind of like, I'm very shallow.
Yeah,
So
you
I like
Transformers.
I just see lots of action on the screen.
I guess,
go, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Well, and not to insult your taste or whatever, but like,
That's okay.
well, no, but I guess I don't even think the action is good. Like
Yeah.
the technically the people doing the special effects have skill or talent or ability or whatever you call it. That is true. They're like top tier A-listers. But I think that the creative choices made and the way they depict the robots and the way they show the battles and stuff, I think it's all bad choices. And I don't like,
Right.
yeah. So even on that level, I can't even just enjoy it as a dumb action movie.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. No, yeah, I really am shallow.
Well, no. I mean,
no, it's okay. No, everybody has different choices. That's fine.
I guess that's the problem is when we're all thinking of what it would be like to be the crappy artist, we all have something different in mind.
Yeah.
It has to be crappy in your mind. You know that is crappy. So whatever crappy it is, that is it.
Right.
I
there's
don't
no
know.
way
That's so difficult, though, isn't it? To think that way.
I
think I'd take the money.
I know myself. I mean, I never think that my comics are usually at the point where, like, I couldn't do better. Or that I'm like, I wish I should have done that type of thing. So in some way, I mean, if I ever got to the point where I produced a comic that I could look at every panel and say, oh man, I just knocked it out of the park, the whole thing.
Right.
But that's not the case. So in some ways, I don't think my comics are crappy, but I always think that, I probably could have done a little better, spent some more time on it.
Ironically, because I also hate my work. Ironically, I think the only artists I've ever known that are like very satisfied and happy with most of what they draw are like the worst artists. Like they don't like no, seriously. I mean, not that you can't like your own artwork, but the people that are just like, oh yeah, it's the shit and everything I do is great. I'm just busting out more new. Like the more happy you are with the stuff you're doing all the time, like I just feel like those are people that don't see their own flaws and don't grow as artists and are much happier people, but worse artists. That's what I say.
Yeah, I can appreciate what you're saying there.
Cool. What about you, Mike? Marsh? You haven't chimed in.
Oh man, that's such a tough question. Similar to Rust, I have terrible taste, so I think I'd be fine making the bad stuff. That'd be fun. No, I really do. I like stuff that's like it's got heart in it, but it's maybe not the best, like most loved by a broad audience. I like B movies. I like old Doctor Who, like the 60s stuff where the walls are shaking.
Yeah.
I like movies people never heard of, and it just
but I feel like you guys though. But what Teresa's saying is it's going to be bad to you. So you're describing things that are thought of as bad that you like. So it can't be that
bad to me.
That's the whole.
That's what I say. That's tricky. really hard
Like
to
you are
say which would
perfectly
you
aware
have.
you hate them. You don't like them. It's tricky.
You know, and that makes me even more confident in my choice because I do caricatures. I hate caricatures. I hate doing them. I think mine suck. I don't like it. But they pay me $100 an hour to do it, and I do it every time they ask because that's really good money to do art that I think is terrible. So I literally have made that choice. So I'm quite sure I would do the same thing in comics.
Fair enough. I'm good
would
with that.
too, honestly, because as long as somebody is liking it, that would be enough. That'd be cool, you know. It doesn't mean that nobody's gonna like it. Somebody's gonna like it.
I mean, I get mad at the people that like it. I'm like, you guys are dumb. This is terrible. Thanks for your money. Like,
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't pick that option because then you would be famous, which means you can hardly get out of your house without anybody recognizing you.
Whoa,
And they
hold on.
tell you
No
about your
comic artist in the world is that famous. Jim
No.
Lee can walk down the street. It's just Comic-Con he can't walk down the street.
Nobody's got a clue who he is.
Yeah.
Normies don't know who these people
Yeah.
are.
Yeah,
no,
they're
but
famous
this is,
when they
this is
wanna be
like we're talking about a phenomenon, right? So like nobody knows who writes books, right? But we know who Stephen King is, and we know who J.K. Rowling is. You know,
So you're
that's
saying
sort of
you would be
famous.
more famous than the most famous comic book artist in the world right now?
Yes.
The most famous artist in the world right now, people don't even know what he looks like, would probably be Banksy, arguably.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's by design.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like the only comic book person at all that people knew who was Stan
Stan
Lee.
Lee. Yeah,
Right.
but he didn't really draw comics.
No, but I'm saying like a comic book person at all, and that's because he was in movies and he was doing interviews for like his entire life, and that's why I said Jim Lee, because anybody that knows comics at all knows who Jim Lee is, whether you like him, hate him, whatever. We all know who he is. Yet, like my mom or anybody that I know that knows that I've loved comics my whole life would not know who he was. And you don't get much more famous, or Todd McFarlane, any of those people that like are super famous in this industry. You leave the industry, no one knows who they are. Now that Stan Lee died, it's like, this is going to sound weird. You know who the biggest comic book celebrity is now that Stan Lee died to the general public? Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, and like, he's written a couple comics. He's not even a comic guy, but that's who people know now.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah, but we are dealing with the fantasy world. So in our fantasy world,
Exactly.
we walk outside.
Humor me. You are super
Okay.
famous. Well, and then let's give Marsh a chance to defend Rob Liefeld just quickly before we move on.
I want to be clear too. I wasn't trying to shit on Rob Liefeld. It's just an example that everybody uses.
If I could be Rob Liefeld, I mean, in the '90s when I was really into him, especially, I still love his art from back then. People complain about his feet. Look at X-Force #1. He draws actually some amazing feet. He draws Farrell, who she doesn't even have shoes on, and it's like anatomical and pretty. I mean, maybe not perfect, but it's pretty well done.
For feet.
Yeah, and he probably draws more feet per page than most people I see actually in those pages, which is, so that's just one thing. So I could defend that. As far as like, would I want to be famous, rich and famous, but draw like the worst person that I think who I don't like?
Right.
No, because it just wouldn't be satisfying. Like I think of a lot of the artists nowadays, where like maybe in Marvel and DC, where like there's some good ones for sure, but there's some where that it's like I feel like when I'm
Sorry, I just saw the one in the bottom left.
when I'm, I feel like when I'm looking at some of them, they look almost like sanitized, like it's just contour and there's no depth, and it's just and it's not, I don't know, the subject matter a lot of times is not interesting. Like if I had to draw like that and be famous, I'd rather do something else.
Well, I can understand where you're coming from, but remember, that isn't the choice. You're going to be drawing comics either way. You're either going to be famous and terrible to yourself, or you draw great comics that no one will ever know are yours.
And add in, you will be rich.
And you will be rich, yeah. Because like being rich and famous is a nice sort of bonus prize. But like,
well, the thing is being famous would actually be a detractor for me. Being rich, I kind of like that just because it gives me freedom.
Right.
But I mean, I would hate that. I would hate to draw art that is something that I really don't like. Like art means so much, to me. Like it's therapeutic. It's just important to me, and like for it to come out exactly the opposite of what I like I'd rather just do something else.
No,
and I'd rather be awesome at art and nobody see it.
That's the part. Okay, so that's the difference, that you are happy creating art in a vacuum. You don't need an audience to be able to enjoy creating art.
Well, I am not, but I don't feel like I draw things that I don't like, so it kind of doesn't, match. But like I'm not happy drawing in a vacuum. But if I had the choice between the two, I would rather draw in a vacuum.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's not a
Fair.
great choice.
Yeah. I guess that's what it comes down to with all of us is that the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I think the prize to the Mike, you have gained back your point for that pug. That's you, Mike, right? On the
that's me.
bottom left corner. And the muscle pug is like really disturbing.
Oh, I hate it. I hate the nipples.
I didn't draw the nipples.
I drew the nipples.
The problem
They were
with
necessary.
nipples is there should be more of them, you see, to be anatomically correct. That's
If I drew like that all the time, then I wouldn't want to be rich and famous.
So many nipples.
My snark is worse than my bite. It's hipster pug.
Yeah, so I think that's the last question we had, because like Russ, you didn't make one.
Oh, sorry.
And wait, no, Marsh's prompt. Okay, delete all the pugs, but remember forever Mike's pug. Okay. So last one. We're gonna do a quick one, and this is the end of the stream. Okay, are you ready? Ooh, nipples. Everyone, delete your own nipples, please. Those are mine. Off. Okay. So Marsh's prompt is after school cartoon character, and I wanted to ask, can I do Saturday morning?
Yeah, what's the difference between after school and Saturday morning? I wasn't clear.
After school is like in the week after school, and Saturday morning is like on Saturday in the morning.
There was definitely different cartoons on it both times for me. At
Yeah.
least.
I guess my thought though is a lot of the shows, like Transformers, for example, started off on weekends, but then it was on after school as well. So what is that?
It was reruns. I don't know. There's specific ones that I remember as after school, and then Saturday morning was like the special ones.
Exactly. Saturday morning was special. Yeah, so I'm gonna cheat a little bit and do Saturday morning.
I was trying to get us in the mood of the whole coming back, because there's a different feeling too. You wake up early, like you're like, I have to make sure I wake up in time so I can watch the cartoons on Saturday morning. But when you come home from school, it's like you just had a day, and you're like,
He just had a day.
It's a different vibe. Like,
What do you mean you just had a day?
Day of work, but it was school. Like
the day of being bullied. No, I didn't get bullied, I don't think, really, but
well, I did. And I don't like that you make a joke out of it.
not bullying me about your bullying.
Marsh came out after a hard day of bullying people,
That's I mean, there was bullying going on. Doesn't matter who was doing it. I mean,
It's hard from both sides, okay? It's hard work. And the question is, it's about food. What was your favorite after school snack, and what did you always hope was for dinner?
So we got to draw food.
no. Favorite after school animated character.
Did I do a draw prompt?
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that was the character. Sorry.
I guess if I can go first. This is kind of weird. So I used to like as a kid, like every once in a while I get taken out for lobster or something like that, and it was like a big deal. And I used to love lobster, but of course I can't just get lobster when I come home from school. But what I would do is I would get pieces of or crab or whatever, but I get pieces of just regular white bread, and I cut it in strips, and I'd melt butter, and then I just dipped the bread in butter, and that was it.
Because
And
what you really liked was the butter sauce, basically.
the butter sauce that I kept, and then I even had like me and my brother, I'd pretend to have like
Oh
a
my gosh.
and I would serve like I'd serve the butter. Yep, yeah. Hey.
Sorry, I was hankering for a hunka.
Yeah. If you want after school snacks, this is the guy to talk to, man. He had some great ideas for that.
Butters.
But I wasn't sure if I should go with the classic top hat and bow tie or the cowboy hat and handkerchief.
Oh, I didn't even remember that one.
Yeah, well, that was the hankering for a hunk of cheese. That one he was wearing the.
Oh, he had an alternate ensemble, huh?
Yeah, he actually it was almost like a totally different character because he had a different voice on that. He had more of like a Western voice. Yeah, I don't even think it's the same voice actor.
Madness.
This guy, time for timer.
Okay, so you ate butter after school. That's
Yeah, bread and butter. But it wasn't just the bread and butter; it was the presentation.
oh, it was like a French restaurant. It was all about the presentation.
Yeah,
Teresa, I want to remind you, as your second in command, you said you were taking over the comments, and you haven't
Oh
mentioned
yeah, I
comments in a long
forgot.
time.
Sorry.
And what was the second part of the question? What was something you liked for dinner?
What did you wish your parents or whoever was making? Well, your parents were making you for dinner.
Okay, so my mom used to make this thing called Tamale Delight, and it was like Hormel tamales. Let's see if I can remember all the stuff was in it. It was Hormel tamales, like cheddar cheese, olives, and I think maybe there might have been some chili in there too. I'm not sure, but it was just like a casserole. But it was just like, and it's one of those things where, I basically only had it as a kid. I think I tried to duplicate it once when I was an adult, and it didn't come out that great. But I don't know. It was just one of those things that I've never had it anywhere else or seen anybody else make it but my mom. So I don't know.
I'm gonna have to dip out early, but I will quick give my answer. That this after-school snack would be Nutter Bars or Nutty Buddies, whatever you call them, like the generic
choice.
And with generic soda, like Acme brand or whatever your food store brand, where it would say like cola, lemon, lime, grape. And what I always wanted for dinner was takeout. McDonald's, pizza, whatever. There was nothing any member of any part of my family could make that was better than fast food. But unfortunately, I got to go. So enjoy the rest of the stream. Thanks for having me, Teresa. Congrats on 400.
Oh no, thank you.
Later, dude.
My
See
second
ya. Bye,
command is
everybody.
going. See you later. Thank you for
Later,
coming.
dude.
Okay, so I'm gonna go really quickly through the comments. There's a person here saying Imperial Vol is saying Lifefield is awesome. Last of the great creators, really. He says so. Marsh.
I don't know if I go that far, but
Yeah, I wouldn't even go that far, but I like it.
Well, it's been said. It's been said. Okay, then there's that really Infinite Roleplay says a comic series about a sexy pig stripper nun zombie slayer in a post-apocalyptic world ruled by alien vampires.
What?
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. Drawn in a Peanuts art style, but with gore. I think we were talking about like comics that would be terrible, and I think this is
Oh.
the contribution to that.
Or he's advertising his Kickstarter. You never know.
Yeah. Or maybe, yeah. And then Salazar Art Nation.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Salazar Art Nation says, I'm making crappy comics now and then. Okay. We all do.
Yeah,
And
most of my comics are crappy at this point, but
yeah. And then people are talking about Kevin Smith and After School, GoBots, Saturday Morning, and Inhumanoids. Saturday Morning, Visionaries, Bravest Stars. I don't know any of these shows, I don't think. GoBots, maybe. But yeah. Look. I think this person is around my age. After School, Sailor Moon, Mornings Pokemon. I was a cartoon addict. Yeah, Sailor Moon afternoons, to be sure. It was such a drama as well. Oh my God. And yeah, I think everyone's talking about Liefeld, really. Okay, so snacks. Anyone, any crazy snacks or things that they look
I used
forward
to
to?
like it had to be brown bread, soft brown sliced bread,
Sultry brown bread.
Put in butter.
and I'd like that with Marmite. Does anybody know what Marmite is?
Yes, I know what Marmite is.
Okay, so I'd have it with Marmite, but because the bread was so soft, you could roll it, so they became Marmite rolls.
Oh, I see what
And
you're
you'd
doing
have
here.
to drink it with cold milk.
Jesus, that's weird.
And on occasion, I even used to make cold coffee milk, and that was when I was a kid. So I was addicted to caffeine very early.
Got that started early.
And for dinner, my mum, bless her heart, used to make macaroni cheese.
Mm.
And it's just the best macaroni cheese.
Is that just what you call it in the UK, macaroni cheese? Or
Yeah.
Sand?
Yeah.
Sand? Okay. I wasn't sure.
Mac and cheese. Just call it macaroni cheese.
Okay.
But,
I just wasn't sure maybe it was just like one macaroni stuffed with cheese or something.
No. It's a regional dialect thing.
Yeah. I'm pretty shocked by your snacks. I mean, they're very unhealthy. Like my mom would have never let me have any of that.
Oh, my mum wasn't there.
Yeah, mine wasn't either.
She was working. I had to go and get my own snack.
Yeah, no. Well, normally it was fruit. It's pretty boring. But I can tell you a story of the first time I made myself my snack. I was torn between two options. We have Nesquik cereals, right? Which are these little balls that of chocolate, and the milk becomes chocolatey. And then we had these pickled onions, and I couldn't make my mind up. And it was these pickled onions that come also with gherkins and a bit of pepper and stuff, all in vinegar, all in brine, right? And I couldn't make my mind up because I love both those things. And so I decided to have both without knowing that, if you have vinegar with milk, terrible things will happen. So yeah, and ever since then I've only had fruit for a snack after work or school because I make bad decisions when I'm hungry. So always when I cook or everything, I always have a piece of fruit because I cannot think straight, obviously, when I'm hungry. So yeah. And my favorite food, again, like I come from a different culture, so it's all vegetable based. Ratatouille, the like in the film, that thing that is like peppers and vegetables.
Yeah,
That was my favorite food as a kid.
Yeah, we used to eat ratatouille as well.
I was
even in England, you had ratatouille.
Yeah, in cans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my mom made really nice one, and my grandma as well. So it was my favorite food. I used to eat it with loads of bread, though. So like all the healthy factor went out the window because it was like, give me the loaf of bread.
Give me the loaf.
Pass me the bread, the whole bread. So that's my snack story. And my cartoon is Peter Pan because I loved that show when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, we've got cartoons. But yeah, I used to enjoy. I enjoyed all the cartoons. Loved Scooby-Doo. But He-Man was great. Loved the He-Man. Loved Transformers. All that stuff. Yeah, anything science fiction-y or superhero-ish. That's what I'd watch.
I liked all the weird stuff. Like Nickelodeon had like a whole series, Real Monsters and Doug and all the Rugrats and all that.
Yeah, those were cool.
Yeah, I was grown up by then.
Yeah.
but I still watch them. Yes.
or like MTV, the Max, the Unplugged, all that stuff too. And pretty much anything that's weird.
I used to like the what was that, Cowardly Dog?
Oh yeah.
That's Cartoon Network.
Yeah, and I used to watch with my son, Ed, and Eddie.
Oh yeah,
loved that. That was hysterical. And of course Ren and Stimpy.
Oh yeah.
And Cow and Chicken, was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Love all that stuff. So funny.
They were so funny.
And what was it? Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah, the beginning of Cartoon Network, basically.
Yeah.
I completely completely forgot this guy's arms. Oh well.
Who needs arms?
He doesn't need them.
Nah.
Yeah, arms are for losers. Let's go. All right. So we're winding down towards the end. Any other cartoons or things you want to share about food?
I think it was Oreos. Coming home from school, my mom used to have this little cookie jar full of Oreos, and used to just raid that as soon as I'd come home. And I guess the dinner thing that I hoped that she would make was just called pizza thingy. We didn't have like an actual name for it. She just came up with this thing, and we called it pizza thingy. And it would actually attract kids from the neighborhood like flies. Like people would just come into our house to eat because you could just smell it.
But what was it?
Neighborhood.
How's it
It
different?
was like some kind of Frankenstein monster calzone. It was huge. It was almost as big as the table, but it was way better
What?
than calzone.
Well,
Real doughy and just delicious. She keeps telling me she's going to make it, and she doesn't. I think it's just a product.
well, one other thing that I forgot, it may even have been this guy that I'm drawing that showed how to make it, but was these where you take the English muffins and you put some just marinara sauce and some cheese and some pepperonis and bake those and have little mini pizzas. You guys ever do those?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do that now.
I still make that from time to time for sure. Love that stuff.
Now I need to make that tonight, I think.
It's funny, almost similar, very similar to what Scott said. I was going to say the same thing about the English muffins.
Are they just called muffins where you live, Russ?
Yeah. Well, they used to be called just muffins, but now they're called English muffins. So I'm pretty bitter about that.
Sorry, Marsh.
That's all right. I think it's funny though too that you said like the bread and the butter and like I totally like would all kinds of different combinations, just toast and peanut butter and butter, or toast with butter, or toast with peanut butter and bananas. Like there was so many things that I would do in that realm. And then also my favorite thing that my mom would make for dinner would be usually tacos. Probably not as sophisticated as the Arizonian mother you had there, but for me, yeah, just regular tacos. And I also, another weird one though, like, and it sounds like I came from a rich family if I say this answer, but but somehow at one point I had chicken cordon bleu and I really loved it. And I had to get my mom to make it.
Oh la la.
About a month ago. I made chicken cordon bleu about a month ago, twice actually, because I made it for my girlfriend and it turned out so good that I made it for my kids, and it came out really good.
But wait, isn't cordon bleu like cheese and meat breaded and fried?
It's like chicken. No, wait, it's ham and cheese inside chicken and then breaded, and then I guess deep fried. I guess you could probably bake it too.
Yeah. So how is that for rich people?
I don't know. If you're not French, it sounds fancy.
It's just like breaded cheese with some meat in it.
Right.
Deep fried.
Everything though.
Yeah, it sounds fancy, but it's not. Yeah, no, I love all these snacks, especially like I really like Scott's story about like dreaming of having lobster and instead of just having like chunks of butter. It's great. I love that story. It's very, very illustrative of your diets over there in America. Okay, cool. So I think I am ready to finish this stream. I think we've did all the rounds with all the questions we had. Before we finish, would you guys like to say one more time who you are and where to find you and all this stuff? So starting with Russ. Oh, Russ, tell us about your Kickstarter. I had it ready here. One second. Hello, everybody.
Okay. Look at those. Oh my God, look at that fantastic artwork. Is that you, Mike?
What?
The thing with the big nose.
Yes.
And the green. Oh,
yeah.
God, that's fabulous.
That's
Look at those shoes.
I was showing your Kickstarter and you started going about, look at that art. It's fantastic. Like the
Sorry.
minute I clicked on your
Sorry, I was looking at I was looking. Oh wow, they're all great. Actually, they're all lovely. I love the duck as well. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. You can. Yes. The book's called Only Death Can Save Us. Hopefully, you can see from the artwork, it's inspired by the Bronze Age comics. So it's a bit cheesy. It's a bit cosmic, but it's fun and it's adventure and it's all ages. So you can leave it anywhere for your kids to look at. It's romance, not sex; action, not violence. A hero's journey, not ideology. There you go. OnlyDeathCanSaveUs.com. You can find out more about it there, or you can click on the link to the campaign at Only Death Can Save Us. You can find me on YouTube as Comic Book Black Belt. You can find me at russleach.com, comicbookblackbelt.com. You can find me on the Twitter, on the Fleecebook, at the Parlay, and on the Instagram. You can come talk to me about comic book art.
Yeah, and you have the link in the description of the video as well if you want to go to the Indiegogo and support Russ's comic. And yeah, who's this is Marsh, right? The duck, DuckTales.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
So you go next.
That's really
Tell
good.
us.
And just to say, that's just literally me copying a drawing from the internet. So don't think it's my own thing. But my name is Marsh. Marsh makes comics on YouTube, and you can find my stuff if you go to Indiegogo and look for Only Death Can Save Us. You can find my stuff there, and that's it.
Okay, and the He-Man is Russ.
Just go and support. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so Russ is the He-Man. This is Scott, right? You're the peanut right in the hamburger, right?
Is that a character from something? Like, yeah. I've never seen that one.
So this was an after-school thing. This little guy, he would teach you how to make like snacks after school. Like he would say, go and get. The one thing he said, take ice cube trays and then put juice in them, and then put plastic wrap on it, and then put toothpicks, and then freeze it, or just little things. It was like some kind of like a health PSA thing they had on Saturday morning cartoon.
He's the character from the fever dream you had after the snacks you had.
Nice.
I don't know what he's supposed to be. He just looks like a yellow meatball.
Nice. I got a hankering for a
hunk of cheese, but I'm running out of room here.
And Mike, who is crushing it. He's coloring stuff and everything. Tell us who you are, where to find you.
I love how you put the arrow towards the little tuft of hair on his butt. That's Mike. He's a little hair in the creature's butt.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm Mike Emirates. I draw stuff sometimes. Other times I don't. Same with comics. Sometimes make them. You can find me on Instagram, and if you want to see more of my art, you can go to Only Death Can Save Us. Russ got a thing going on now. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
he did a superb pinup. Go get that. Go get that tier, because that'll give you the pinup. Get it.
You did. Okay, and you know me because you're here on my channel. My name is Teresa, and thank you all for being in the stream. You're all lovely people. Thank you, and thank you for joining this really weird online program that I have no idea how to operate at all.
We'll never try on it again.
That was great fun.
Right. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you all on the internet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.